Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you all. Let's start COVID-19 EMI moratorium.
Let us go straight into EMI moratorium topic. You all know what do you mean by EMI? EMI is equally equated monthly interest, which banks are asking you to pay on every month for your owed loan. The EMI is nothing but for a particular duration of time, which is agreed by you and the bank. If you pay that interest with principal accurately and exactly on date, then the specified loan amount will be cleared and closed within that duration of time. So there is an agreement between you and the bank. You would ask, yes, within 15 years, I would like to close my interest part and the principal part of this loan. The banker may agree upon, depending upon so many basic verifications and eligibility criteria. If you both can agree, then the EMI will be fixed and the EMI sheet will be signed by both of you, and you would start really paying the EMI on time. And the word moratorium means it's a simple logical word, but in other simple way, it is repayment holiday. It is simply a term which narrates repayment holiday. Means if your project is not ready by the time you're taking a loan from your financial institute, then you can ask your financial institution for a gap of repayment. Because your property is not ready for your enjoyment or for your occupation, you can ask your banker to give me some relief, some holiday of repayment for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, so that I can start repaying after I actually enjoy the possession of the property. Then the banker will decide, yes, the construction is still in progress, so we can give you a moratorium period of maybe say 6 months or 1 year whatsoever. Now this EMI moratorium that the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, the controller of all banks, all commercial banks, scheduled banks, private banks, foreign banks, all cooperative banks, and all public sector banks is Reserve Bank of India. RBI on 27th of last month have come up with a relief program for EMI moratorium of already availed loans. Yes, the reference is Circular 1. The reference I have quoted here, this is COVID-19 regulatory package. The main objective of this package is to mitigate burden on debit due COVID and to ensure continuity of viable business. And this regulatory package RBI has offered only for 3 months, starting from 1st March to 31st May 2020. And we all have a doubt in my mind that, see, I have taken a loan from this financial institute. This is not a government organization, or this is a private organization, or this is maybe Bajaj Finance or some other finance or some other finance. Am I eligible for this EMI moratorium because I have taken a loan from this financial institution? My dear friends, Reserve Bank of India given a free hand to almost all types of banks which are operating in India. So earlier we have listed some 650 banks. Almost all banks should offer this EMI moratorium to your hand right away. So don't be worried. Wherever your financial institutions may be, you can go for EMI moratorium opt-in procedure. And the main components of this regulatory package is the interest or the principal or the bullet payment or EMIs can be deferred for the next 3 months. In spite of all your EMIs, RBI has also given a relief for credit card holders. All credit card dues can be deferred for next 3 months. And this facility of regulatory package is eligible only for COVID-19 affected borrowers. Of course, the world is locked down now. So these COVID affected borrowers are everywhere. The interest again will be accrued. It means even if you don't pay the interest in the next 3 months, the total interest will be multifolded, and the total interest will be attached to your principal. And RBI has given a choice to the borrower whether to go for EMI moratorium or whether to not go for EMI moratorium also. Please understand, it is not a interest waiver. EMI moratorium is not a interest waiver. It is an interest payment deferment. That's all. An interest payment deferment. And EMI moratorium relaxations also you may get. Now, general understandings. The payment is just being postponed, that's all. But the payment is not given as a waiver to you. It is not a EMI waiver. If you opt in, be prepared for immediate repayment. Yes, government in that Reserve Bank of India in that circular clearly mentioned this relief is only for 3 months, and immediately after 3 months you should be ready to repay it to your financial institutions immediately. And if you don't pay, suppose, then be prepared for the repayment at a very higher cost, maybe at a higher duration. But if you have opt out means if you do not want to avail that EMI moratorium, just pay your EMIs regularly, relax at home. And facilities also offered by RBI are, your asset classification will not be downgraded. Suppose a borrower or a retail borrower is there. If he is owning an asset and if he is giving that asset as a collateral to the bank, then the banker would go and ask the financial statement or cash flow statement or stock statement from the borrower every monthly maybe, or every quarterly maybe, or every half yearly. But if the borrower could not submit that asset classification in time in the specified format, then his asset will not be downgraded during these 3 months. And if you don't repay your loan also, there is no SMA or NPA stamping on your loan document. If you don't repay it, then banks will simply wait for you to repay it. They will not go for any further action. And the main important point for any borrower in India, in and around India, if he wants to avail any loan, now the government has given a mandate to all financial institutes. They should verify their CIBIL report. CIBIL report, credit report. This is called credit report. The credit and the credit repayment report of every borrower is maintained by CIBIL authorities, and they are giving a concrete, clear-cut idea of any borrower before availing loan to the lender or financer or banker. So the beautiful point here, even if you don't pay your EMIs also, your CIBIL is not affected. Yeah, Mr. Raghuram sir, will come to you, sir. Please bear with us. Okay, but the very suggested point is, if you have cash flows, if you have reserves with you, if you are claiming your salary, maybe 50%, maybe 80%, then go pay your EMIs. Go pay your EMIs. Don't wait for someone. Don't wait for some duration of 3 months that you can think of paying it and all. You would be in a huge loss. That's how I'll come to you. Okay. Now everyone seen an example of housing loan, how to avail, what are the procedures and all. Now we would come to the calculations of EMI so that you would understand how this EMI works out, how this EMI benefits me or defeats me in this EMI moratorium period and all. Now this EMI calculations, everyone is ready. If banker will say you that you don't need to pay EMI, this EMI is a waiver for you. Everyone is ready, happy, accepting it. But banker also cannot afford of losing these many interest to the every lender, right? So banker or a financial institute would definitely take your funds back to him so that he would serve others. So for a simple example, let me give you in a feasible figures. if we take a 20 lakhs loan for 20 years, okay, if you take 20 lakhs loan for 20 years, the rate of interest for simple understanding is 10%. Your EMI would go to 19,300, roughly 20,000. 20 years, 20 lakhs, and your EMI would be 20,000 roughly. And what you would pay after 20 years is 46 lakhs 32,104 rupees. So for 20 years, if you have 20 lakhs, then your interest portion would be some 26 lakhs 32,000 as a whole. So this would be your EMI calculation. This should be your basic understanding. Now you must be owning a house and you must be preparing for taking another house, then you should be ready with these calculations. Now the case 1. Okay, what if the scenario comes in this moratorium period of EMI? So on 20 lakhs, your EMI for the first month would be calculated as 16,438, and the subsequent month your interest would be 17,125, and on the third month your interest would be 17,271 rupees. Only the interest part for these 3 months would go around 50,834 rupees. So let us assume we all have availed a housing loan last month only, in the month of February only, for a rupees of 20 lakhs. Now what would be the scenario? If you pay your EMI regularly in these 3 months also, then there is no worry, simply enjoy your property. Now, if you don't pay the interest part in these 3 months, then what government says is, be ready to pay it immediately after these 3 months. So we should be ready for paying 50,834 rupees immediately after these 3 months. The due date is 1st June of 2020. Okay. Now the second case. What if you do not pay even after completion of 3 months? I have given a simple calculation. Suppose if you have not paid the interest part, then your interest would be capitalized to your principal, and your principal now would be, on the date of 1st June would be 20,50,834 rupees. Then the calculation starts from then. 20 years EMI calculation would give you an EMI of 19,791. It means it is at a higher rate of 491 rupees. So end of the 20 years, what you would actually pay now, you have availed moratorium, then what would actual payment now would be 47,49,838 rupees, which is costing you 1,17,734 higher. Please understand me, you are being costed heavily for not paying this interest part in these 3 months. And immediately after 3 months also, if you don't pay, then be prepared for paying 6 additional EMIs in near future. I have given a calculation here. The burden would go 491 rupees a month, or 6 times greater than actual EMI. I think now you got an idea of paying it or not paying it. Okay, let's discuss of paying it or not paying it also very soon. Now we have a choice whether we should go for opt-in or opt-out. Let me give you a complete idea of opting in and opting out. Opting in means government is giving a benefit or a facility to go for EMI moratorium. Opting out means government is asking you please don't go, you may not avail this EMI moratorium. Then as a borrower, we will think, okay, if we have availed a term loan means I told you, all kinds of housing loans, all kinds of retail loans, vehicle loan, car loan, every loan will come under term loan. All these kinds of term loans, you can extend your duration. I'm talking about the total 3 months duration is over. Now 1st June has started. On the date of 1st June, you can think of, you can extend your duration, or you can extend your EMI, or you can pay as usual in these 3 months only. So we just have discussed, we have 3 types of loans. One is term loan and the other is working capital. That working capital means the borrowings of a the borrowings of a borrower which are taken from a financial institute to run the business. Previously, what we used to do is we have taken a loan and we have established a business. Now we are short of money. Now we want to go for a short-term loan to run the business. That is called working capital. That working capital is always in cash. They will be given cash credit and they will be given overdraft. If you, in the both terms, your terms and conditions would be same. If you avail the amount, then you will be asked to pay the interest of the amount, and if you don't avail the amount, no interest will be charged on you. Now here also is the same. Either you can pay your interest immediately after 3 months, or you can reschedule it. You can reschedule your loan by submitting valid documentation, documentary proof that you have been affected with this COVID-19. RBI has categorically said this is just a relief to you to not to pay the EMI amount in these 3 months. But RBI also said very strongly, very strictly, immediately after these 3 months, you should pay your interest component. So in the category of working capital, you should pay your interest capitalized amount with immediately after the 3 months of moratorium period, that is falling on 1st June 2020. And if you cannot pay, you can go ask your banker for rescheduling of it, or there is always a chance for you to pay it as usual. And there is one more kind of loan which is very fantasy nowadays for youth: credit card. This credit card also, of course, you can enjoy the facilities of credit card, but you also should remember this credit card might cost you heavily. This credit card relief also is given. The dues cannot be paid, or the dues can be given as a relief for these 3 months. But immediately after these 3 months, that 1st June onwards, you should pay all your accrued interest to your banker immediately. Okay. Now opt-in and opt-out, we would look at the benefits also. Okay, whether are we really benefited out of EMI moratorium or not. First, let us go with the benefits. So now, for all participants, if I ask you, what do you think? Do you benefited out of this EMI moratorium or what? Please, I would like to see your answers. Will you be benefited out of taking this EMI moratorium? No, not really. Very good. No. Great. Let us come to our discussion why we are not benefited. Now let me give you a brief components of benefits. It is loss and burden to customer. Very good, sir. Okay, now coming to the point, the benefits which Government of India through Reserve Bank of India offers you. We all in the position of repaying our loans. We may have our incomes, we may have our cash flows, we may have our cash reserves, we may have our liquidity. But if I look at a person who is not a regular income drawer, what about him? Let us take a call on daily wage laborers. Let us take a call on farmer. Let us take a call on farming labor. Let us take a call on roadside vendor. Let us take a call on small business which has got no board, no place to sit, no place to sell. Let us take a call on roadside shops or roadside who do not have any firm registration, who do not have any income returns regularly, who do not have any wages regularly. For keeping the mind For keeping all of them in mind, the Government of India through Reserve Bank of India have given this EMI moratorium benefit for all of them. Yes, let us come to these points one by one. The benefits of EMI moratorium. EMI moratorium is a very good relaxation. I have a known friend who has taken a vehicle loan from one reputed finance company of private. Those private people are now also asking him to repay the EMI. He is not in a position to repay it because he is a vendor, he is a roadside vendor. He do not have, because of this lockdown period, he do not have regular incomes. He opens his shop only for 2 or 3 hours a day. So I told him, I explained him, I escalated him that this is a benefit which have been given to you by Reserve Bank of India. He is very happy. He immediately called upon the financer and asked him that I do not have sufficient funds now. I would repay you after 3 months. So for all such kind of borrowers, the EMI moratorium gives a big relaxation. And the second point is your CIBIL will not be affected. Even if you don't pay a single rupee in your total duration, also your CIBIL will not be affected. And you, as a household head, as a domestic head, as a owner of a family, as a head of a family, you get short-term relief from long-term debts. Your debts may be long-term, but you will get a relief. Yes, my debts cannot be paid in this 3 months of time, so let me not think much about it. And most urgent and most important needs, rather than paying EMIs, one would have most urgent and important, hospitalized. Like there are many other urgent needs, those can be fulfilled. And there is no need to visit your bank time and again for opting in or opting out or whatsoever. Now everything, every service is made online. You can simply visit your website and check whether you are eligible or not eligible, whether you want it, not want it. You simply drop a mail, they will take rest of the action. And refund on already paid EMI for March 2020. Few banks have debited EMIs already from borrowers' accounts. If you do not want that EMI to be paid for the month of March 2020, you can write a letter and they will refund you. They will refund your EMI also. That is a big relief. Of course, we do not have money in hand. Then that definitely would be a big relief. And short-term pay cut employees also will be benefited. Now, every state governments are offering salaries for 50% or 80% or 70%, and state government of many states coming up with the deferment of salaries also. So for them also, this is a good benefit given. And there are no penalty of interest charges, there are no prepayment charges, there are no late payment charges also. So these are all benefits which are given to all kinds of borrowers in and across India for any type of loan which they have availed. Now, this part of benefits is okay, we are enjoying listening to all these benefits which are given by Reserve Bank of India. But let me come to the burden part. Yeah, this button part, I have not shown any emoji here because all the emojis are now, I can look at all the participants' faces because we are already overburdened. We do not have regular income. We do not have regular cash flows, regular cash reserves, regular liquidity in hand. Yes. Now come to the first point, EMI moratorium to be immediately repaid. EMI moratorium, if we avail for this 3 months, then that moratorium is to be repaid immediately after 31st May. And long-term debts will be increased. If you think of not paying your EMIs or your interest parts, then your debts will subsequently be increased. You may have long-term plan. That long-term plan would be affected with this EMI moratorium extension. And you might think, I'm not paying EMI, so nothing will happen to me. No. Background in the system, your interest will be accrued. Accrued means doubled, multiplied, and capital. I mean your principal amount. So your interest will not go anywhere. Your interest will be behind you only, and your interest will be asking you to repay it after 3 months. And of course, your accrued interest will be definitely added to your principal, and the rate of interest will be calculated on the outstanding principal only. So the rate of interest will not be changed, but your total total payment for the loan would be increased. And there is a need to visit your bank for rescheduling. Suppose if you do not want to pay even after 3 months, I mean, we are with insufficient funds, then you may visit your bank for rescheduling of your loan, and this rescheduling may have your charges also incurred, because it may have to the bank may have to take another agreement from you, depending upon the policies of individual banks. So the rescheduling expenses must also be incurred from your pocket, and further documentation may be required. Yes, maybe bank officials would ask you to give one more authenticity from the co-borrower, from the guarantor. Maybe they might require it, and you might go for the fulfillment of those documents. The risk of fall into SMA or NPA, this is a big word of worry. SMA or NPA, no one should fall in. If you do not pay the interest or EMI or principal in these 3 months, then the due date will be falling to repayment bank to repay to the bank will be on 1st June onwards. Okay, and if you do not pay on 1st June, then the total 3 months non-repayment towards your loan would definitely affect your NPA status, definitely affect your CIBIL report also. The Government of India through Reserve Bank of India have given a temporary relief of 3 months only. This temporary relief would be completed after 3 months. You should be ready now itself. You should be ready now today itself to repay your unpaid installments on 1st June onwards. Okay. Now, what makes you happy, giving or getting? Giving or getting? There is a logic in asking this question. You have now witnessed all the 3 categories of loans: term loan, working capital, credit cards. Now you have also witnessed what is EMI moratorium, and what is that if I don't pay, what is that if I pay, what is the benefit and what is the burden. Now, after scrutinizing all this, do you want to give or do you want to get? Give means give your EMI, get means get relief from the bank. Please give your answers. I'm waiting for your answers. Give and pay EMI. $50-50 Mallikarjun sir. Okay, let's see. We should opt in or opt out. So, EMI moratorium. There is a person standing in front of you. He has listened all ups and downs of EMI moratorium. Now, this person wants to listen from you whether you want to go for it or not. Pay EMI as usual. Very good. Few more responded. Okay, now are we all eligible for EMI moratorium? Do you think you are eligible? Answer me, please. All are eligible? Yes, yes. Okay, let us see. All eligible borrowers. I have noted 3 main categories. All non-NPA customers only. Remind you, my dear friends, if you have failed in repayment of your existing loan for consecutive 3 months from the date of before the date of 1st March 2020, then you are not eligible for this loan because you are already an NPA customer. You are already crossed the account regular open status. You are no more a regular account holder. You have already crossed your regular status. You are already an NPA customer. So this EMI moratorium is eligible for only regular customers and non-NPA customers. And the second point is non-overdue loans. You kept on pending your loans so far. You kept on, dragging your repayments. You kept on irregular in paying your repayments so far. You are not eligible for this EMI moratorium. Definitely, because your status is not retained the same of open regular. And these repayment moratorium is eligible only for active loan holders only. If your loan has been inactive by any region, before 1st March of 2020, this loan will not be eligible for EMI moratorium. I have mentioned non-EMI customer and I have mentioned active loan also, because one customer may have different loans and one customer may default in one particular loan. He may not default in other loan. So one is, for example, one is having housing loan, both a vehicle loan, and one has defaulted at repaying a vehicle loan, but his housing loan is regular. Then he for the loan of vehicle is not eligible for EMI moratorium. He for the loan of housing loan is eligible for EMI moratorium. Now way ahead. We all know I have listed major public sector banks and private sector banks and the procedures what they follow, and here is the procedure, and you can make a note of it, or it is very simple nowadays. Every bank has been giving instructions to their customers over telephone. They are sending you a message: if you want to opt in, do this; if you want to opt out, do this. Yeah, Kavya ji, I'll come to your point. Fine. This is the procedure which everyone has to follow. If you want to opt in, yes, there is a procedure. If you want to opt out, there is a procedure. Now let me go to the next slide. I have given a note of all the major public sector banks here: SBI, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, Bank of India, UCO Bank, and Central Bank of India. These banks are opting these procedures, and if anyone is not clear of what they should do, they can visit their bank's website, and every bank manager's mobile number is with you in your passbook. You can make a call onto that mobile number, and you can clarify whether you are eligible or not, whether you can go for EMI repayment or not. This is the list of major public sector bank, and this is now the list of major private sector banks: HDFC, Axis Bank, Bajaj Finserv. And nowadays we are coming across so many queries of Bajaj Finserv. Bajaj Finserv is the one who is a pioneer in domestic lending for all needy people. Okay, and the majority of the domestic loans lent by Bajaj Finance Services only. So there are huge many queries based on lended portion from HDFC as well as Bajaj Finance. And these are the procedures what they follow. If you have no idea of how to go about it, you have simply your mobile number, call him, or you visit your website. The authenticated information the website provides always, and you can go according to them. And now the takeaway points. Okay, we have understood what is EMI, what is moratorium, what is EMI moratorium in this COVID crisis, and we also have learned basic interest calculations part. Okay, if you have to take a loan from any financial institution, you should know what is my interest component. That calculations we have given and we have learned here. And now with the vast understanding of EMI moratorium, you are now thinking of going for it or not going for it. You are now in the position of deciding whether to take EMI moratorium or not to take EMI moratorium. And benefits and burdens, of course, we have shared, and all the eligible borrowers, those who want to avail this EMI moratorium, are benefited somehow and also will be burdened somehow. Now, you are all matured enough. We have seen we are all matured enough. Now, with this maturity, what do you prefer? Do you want to question me or do you want a questionnaire from me? Come on, waiting for your answers. Enough has been downloaded, enough has been given as an input to you for this 1.5 or maybe 1 year, 1 hour 20 minute session. Now, do you want to ask me anything? Ravi sir, the session is open for question and answers now.
Yeah, so if anyone has a question, you can put it in the chat, or what you can do is you can raise your hand so that I can unmute that person and you can ask the question. Krishna, maybe if you can stop the screen sharing, you'll be able to see everyone.
Yeah, okay, sir. So this is my conclusion of what we have learned EMI moratorium today, and I'm open for your questioning and answering immediately.